Hey everybody, it is Doug Judy, server 817, Hollywood 700. Currently I'm named Yogurt though on 817. Hey, so I wanted to make this video mostly for group leaders and spenders. And the reason I'm making this is because I've heard some stories and I've experienced some stories recently that make me just not want to play the game. All right. And and I'm talking about stuff that happens in game. I'm not talking about bugs and things like that I can't control. I'm talking about things that happen in the game that really frustrate me as a player. So these are things I would strongly encourage if you don't want to kill your server or kill engagement on your server that you just can't do. Okay. And this first one is counterintuitive. Somebody told me recently they started a new character on a new server. Some person comes in there and drops some high amount of money that completely overpowers the entire server in 24 hours. Now, it's not even unlocked then, but what does that do? And I've seen this over and over when one player or one group is too powerful, right? Now, in the short term, everybody joins that group, right? And sucks up to that player. But in the long term, that gets old, and so they leave. So what we really have here on our server that I think is special is we have two groups, our group and another group, and ideally you want as many of these as possible. We really have like 2.5 groups that are powerful. And then we actually spend time trying to find active players in the other groups and making them be leaders because we want active players to be leading. So ideally you want 6 active groups, right? 1 for each island, but it's not always possible. 3 is a minimum number that you need to survive on a server, okay? That's just a guideline. So we have 3, and 2 of them, the group who controls the tower, the Burge, right? And ours, they're really similar. They're off by like a few billion in finance. And this third group here is not that far off either. And they have some strong players too. But we have an alliance together and maybe we'll just one day have fun and burn it down. But we communicate well. We have a group chat together, right? Sometimes we're on Discord together, but we have a minimum of these number of groups that keep things active. And it's important to have top players in each group and not them all go to one group because that makes it boring for the people in the top group and for the people not in the top group. All right. So, and if it's just a one player too, I'm pretty powerful, but I do this intentionally to keep, things spread out. We are not the most powerful group. We have a powerful player, but we're not the most powerful group. So that keeps them kind of like, okay, well, who would win? I don't know. Let's see what happens, right? You have to keep people engaged. So, all right, that is the first thing, right? Number 2 is for the leaders. If you have a leader in your group who has a short temper, doesn't do things that they say they're going to do, like they set rules and then break the rules, they don't follow their own rules or don't have rules, or they have a really short temper, or they can't communicate, things like that. This is all going back to core values. People are not going to want to play with that person, right? That's like any video game, really. You don't want to play with the jerks, right? It just makes it not fun. I mean, I guess if you have 2 jerks playing against each other, I don't know. But it makes it not fun. It disengages your players, all right? And they go somewhere else, right? And that's what we had on my server, 700. It seemed like our leader had a really short temper and she would demote you or kick you out of the group if you did anything wrong, right? That's not fun. That is demoralizing and people will go somewhere else. The last thing, which can be interesting, but not long-term, is when you have toxic players in your city live chat or in your chat at all. These are people that are rude. They don't shut up. They don't understand social cues, right? Now, you can just mute these people. Thank goodness. You can just click a person and hit mute, right? And that's what I would advise you to do, right? And it can be interesting in the short term, a little bit of drama, right? And a little bit of complaining and a little bit of, getting involved in the characters in the game, so to speak, right? But long term, it's not. People do not play games for drama. They play games to relax. It's entertainment, right? So when it stops being relaxing, it stops. People don't want to play long term. Little bit of pain short term, fine, but pain is a short term thing. Long term, it's got to be chill, right? And I don't mean too chill where you can't fight each other, but when you just have a person that just annoys you all the time, right? It is not fun, at least in my opinion. So there it is. 3 things, right? Balance the server. Make sure you keep the active people leading and moving, right? Make sure you have good leadership, right? No people with short tempers and just do whatever they feel like. You cannot have those people lead groups, right? And number 3, no toxic players. You got to mute those or just, not have them, which is impossible, honestly. But you got to mute the toxic players because as soon as you get rid of the energy vampires, everyone is better off. All right, that's it. Y'all have fun out there. Peace.